Hello and welcome to a session I'm calling Straight Up Yoga. I am here in sunny California with my two doggo friends helping me to really focus. Starting at the top of our mat, in mountain pose, we'll roll the shoulders a few times, up, back, around, and down. Pressing feet down, lifting heart up. Taking crown of the head to the sky. Inhale, let's stretch the arms up. Exhale, down. Again, inhale, reaching higher. Exhale, release down. Few more times. Inhale, breathe in, look up, lift up. Exhale, down. And this time, we're going to reach up to the sky nice and high. And exhale, spilling forward over the legs, forward bend. Release the head and neck, hands to the shins as we lift the heart forward, hands to the thighs as we do it again. Folding deeper into the legs. Fingertips to the ground, let's try lifting the heart forward. Taking the feet hip width apart, reaching for opposite elbows and swaying side to side. Balance and breathe. Let's bend the knees and slowly roll all the way up to standing. And a side body bend here, blowing palm pose. We'll reach one arm up and overhead, and the bottom hand will hold the top wrist, pulling more length out of that shoulder, side body, and hip. Back to the center, let's switch sides. Squeeze legs together, press big toes down, looking up towards the sky. Interlace both palms now, reaching up and back. Hands move to the back of the head in a supported back bend. And release the arms. Chair pose, sitting back, bend knees, squeeze legs together. Interlace the hands and dive forward over those legs. Weight in the toes. Release the arms. Hands to shins, and let's lift the chest forward again for an inhale. Exhale, stepping one leg carefully back behind you. We'll keep that back heel up, bending into the front knee. Opposite hand stays down to the mat as we stretch the other arm to the sky, twisting, breathing, focusing. And now let's move into side angle pose, bringing elbow on top of the knee. Stretching the other arm up and overhead, palm facing down. And then reverse warrior. Sweeping arm up and overhead. Inhale into warrior two. Strong arms reaching in opposition. Rotating forward, back heel pops up. Let's twist towards that front knee, looking behind you. And then bring the hands down to the ground, step both legs together, forward fold. Knees bend into chair pose and press all the way up, sweeping arms up with an inhale. Exhale, diving over the legs. Inhale, take the other leg back into that lunge, keep the heel popped, and let's twist towards the front knee. Looking up to the sky, sweep that arm overhead. into side angle pose, dropping back heel down. Reverse warrior, sweeping arm up and overhead, bending into that front knee, keeping back leg straight. Breathe in. Come into warrior two pose. Drop hips, looking over those front fingertips. Long neck. And lift that back heel as we pivot forward, arms to the sky. And slowly lowering hands down. Press back foot forward, forward bend. Hands to shins, inhale, lift the heart forward, exhale, release. Take the feet hip width apart and hands underneath the feet pose. Toes reach to the wrists. Release the head. Bring legs back together, bend knees into chair pose, looking up, sitting tailbone low, and coming all the way to standing mountain pose. Hands on the low back, look up to the sky, lift the heart, open throat chakra. And exhale, release. Inhale, both arms to the sky, palms together. Let's lift heels and balance. Tighten the tummy. Focus point. Lower the arms down first. And then the heels. Bend one knee, single leg balance, circle that ankle. Press down in that supporting leg. Interlace hands, pressing up to the sky, and then open those arms to the side, T-shape, as we extend that leg forward, foot flexed. Sweep it back and hold that foot, quadricep stretch balance. Start to tip forward, lifting the knee behind you, dropping chest forward, and release that leg into warrior three, arms by the side. Option for T arms or reaching arms overhead, palms facing in. Back to standing, and we'll cross that leg over into eagle pose. Sweep one arm under the other. Try to connect the thumbs, the palms, and see if elbows can drop towards the knees. Squeeze everything into the center. Lots of focus required. Let the fingertips touch down as we unfold into standing splits balance. Lengthen that leg to the sky, toes pointed high. And then drop that leg down. Top leg in front. Modified side plank. Option to stack the legs one on top of the other and sweep that top arm overhead. Lift the hips away from the ground. And move into downward dog. Breathe in. Come into plank pose. Bend elbows, chaturanga, and let's move forward and through into upward dog. Hips to the sky, downward dog. Breath in, breath out. And walk the feet forward. Bend knees into chair pose. Let the fingers touch the ground and then come all the way up, standing tall. Let's try the second leg. Bring the knee into the chest, circle that ankle. Finding a focus point can help us balance, especially if there's lots of activity going on around us. Now interlace the hands up to the sky and stretch that leg forward, foot flexed. Lower the arms, sweep the leg back behind you, bending the knees for quadricep stretch, balance. Breath in. Start to tip forward as that knee reaches back behind us. Extend the leg, release the hands, arms by the side. Flex the back foot, control your balance, and maybe T-arms or reaching arms forward, looking at the space in between those palms. And come right up to standing. Let's sweep that back leg over and across. Now the other arm is folding underneath into eagle arms. And let's sink a little lower if you can and drop elbows to knees. Breathe in. Fingertips to the ground, and let's take that folded leg up to the sky into splits balance. Maybe holding one hand or both hands on that supporting leg. We'll drop that top leg down into modified side plank. Top leg just crossed forward, foot on the ground, or feel free to stack the legs as you sweep the top arm overhead. Lots of strength and focus required. You can do it. Rotate forward and lift the hips back into downward dog. Inhale, plank pose. Bend elbows, chaturanga, and pull collarbone forward and through upward dog. Looking to the sky, throat chakra opener, and hips high. As the head drops, release the neck, sink heels. Exhale, rib cage in. Take the feet mat width apart, drop hips, palms together. And then take the hips high to the sky into a wide standing straddle forward fold. Hands on the shins. We'll inhale, lift the heart forward, exhale, fold deeper, maybe holding on to the ankles, the heels. Just take both hands over to one side, keeping opposite hand on that ankle, the other hand on my low back. Okay, let's switch sides. Breathe in. Maybe the nose can come closer to the shin or the knee. Tailbone high. And palms down in the front, centered. We'll bend one knee. Externally rotate those legs and hips, and if you can, reach the arms forward, palms together, and then palms into heart center, or feel free to keep the hands down in front of you. Twist towards that bent knee, looking over the top shoulder. And I'm using my hands to help me transition to the other side, or you can just keep it hands free. Find hands to heart center. Twisting towards that leg, looking over the top shoulder. A great stretch for those hips, inner thighs, groin. And then back to the center, both knees bent. We'll keep the toes and knees rotated externally. Drop one shoulder forward. Look over that back shoulder and switch, using the hands to press the knees wider apart. Keep the hips low. Walking the feet a little closer so they're underneath the knees into goddess pose. Thumb and index finger touching and popping those heels. Heels high, hips low. Let's bring the wrists to touch together to the top of the head. Lots of breathing and happy thought thinking. Release the arms into a T shape. Keep one leg straight and the other knee stays bent, and reach both arms over that straight leg. Stretch through the side. Strength through the legs. Switch the bend in the knee and take the arms over the other leg. Back to the center. Come back into mountain pose now. Legs together. Float the heels. Let's find a balance. Reach the arms out to the side. Slow motion, lift to the sky. See if those heels can keep squeezing in. Hands to heart center. Heels drop and let's fold all the way over the legs, forward bend. Bend one knee, then the other. Hips move from side to side. Keep one knee bent, one leg straight, and that straight leg, the same side arm is going to sweep to the sky. Maybe you look up and wrap that arm behind you and find the opposite inner thigh. Release the arm and switch the bend of the knee. Side number 2, let's twist open. Lots of strength and length in those arms. Folding the top arm behind us to find the inner thigh. Shoulder opener, chest opener. Release the arms. I'm just holding the inner ankles, allowing my arms to pull the trunk to the thighs. Legs wide, external rotation. Let's drop hips and reach arms forward. Inhale, arms up. Palms together at heart center. And let's twist towards one knee, opening that same side arm back and behind us. And switch sides. Making our way into a seated position. Bring the feet together, butterfly pose. Exhale, let's fold forward over those legs. You can let the elbows press into the inner legs for extra stretch. Take one foot and open it to the side, holding bottom of the foot, big toe, ankle, calf, whatever you can, and try the same thing on the other side. And let's try to find bear pose, balancing on those sitting bones, lifting heart up, stretching through the legs, and a graceful dismount. Legs into a wider straddled seated position. Let's reach one arm up and over. I'm letting the bottom arm just fold in front as the top hand perhaps makes contact with those toes. Inhale to the center, exhale, other side. Breathe in to the side. Create space in the rib cage with the breath. Release to the center and inhale, stretch the arms up. exhale forward. Let forehead drop. Widen the elbows, stack the hands or the fists. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Let's find a balance. Holding the hamstrings, lengthening the legs up. Boat pose. Try to keep the chest, heart lifted. Tummy working, core muscles working. Releasing the hands behind you. A little bit of core work here. We're going to lean back as we extend the legs, then bend the knees, chest towards the knees. So out and in, and inhale, exhale. Legs together. Lower and lift the straight legs, keeping elbows bent and chest lifted. You can do it. We're almost there. Low abs, lifting the weight of the legs with every exhale. Good job. Let's extend those legs out in front of you and forward fold over the legs. Feet flexed. Squeeze the legs together. You can hold ankles, bottoms of the feet, toes. Inhale, lift up a little higher, just so you can exhale, release a little deeper. Inhale to look forward. Coming all the way up to seated, hands move back behind you. Bending the knees, feet hip width apart. Let's try tabletop pose. So knees pointing forward, just like toes and fingers. You can look at the knees or release the head, looking back behind you. Keep pressing the hips high. Use those glutes and hamstrings. Inhale to look forward. And exhale, lower the hips down. Come into a seated cross-legged position, rolling the shoulders up, back, around, and down. Hands on knees. Inhale, lift the arms up, and exhale, lower down. Again, inhale up, and exhale, release. Tune into the breath. Start congratulating yourself. It wasn't easy. It never is. The hardest part is making it happen. And you did it. Hands together, right to heart center. Happy thoughts, thankful thoughts, self-love thoughts. Release the hands to the knees, thumb and index finger touching. Keep the eyes closed, relax shoulders, and find that balance between that energizing inhale and that calming exhale. That revitalizing inhale, that relaxing exhale. Breathe in deeply and exhale completely. Let all that hard work, let it take effect. Let it settle in. Acclimatize to this new feeling, this new body and mind. Inhale, slow motion, sending the arms to the side, up to the sky, palms together. Bring it down into heart center and one more breath into it. Exhale, folding forward, locking it in, keeping it in. Good job, everybody. Thanks for joining. Until next time.